What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Last, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago, Rob Blake was announced as a Hall of Famer. A couple of people asked me questions about should Phil Housley, who I've pushed to get in the Hall of Fame more so than any other human being alive, so there, should he have gone in over Rob Blake? And it's a complex question because you're comparing apples and oranges. Were they both defensemen? Yes. Were they both awesome? Yes. To say one's better than the other isn't exactly fair to either Blake or Housley. Let me explain. Housley's offensive numbers were amazing, otherworldly in so many ways, but he did play in an era when everyone scored 50 goals. It was like, oh, your third liners were getting like 35, like whatever. That happened. Not knocking Housley. In fact, the year I was born in October '91, he had 86 points and 92 penalty minutes in the 91-92 season. So that's a season for the ages, So, and few players quarterback the power play better than Phil Housley. And my argument on why Housley should be in the Hall of Fame is if you want to knock his defensive deficiencies, why is Paul Coffey in there? And you know what? If you swap Housley and Paul Coffey on those Oilers teams, they still win the amount of Stanley Cups. Although, I mean, he really could put me back there. They still would have won those Stanley Cups. But and the other thing that helped Housley rack up the points is, and it's not a knock on him, he came out at 18. First of all, going right from high school to the NHL, him and Bobby Calvin, wrote the book on that. But looking at it from that perspective, played from the time he was 18 to the time he was, I think, 38, 39. So there's 20 years there, and he never missed extended time. I think he missed 20 games one year with the Capitals. That was the most, and actually went to finals that year on a Capitals team that, I tell you, it'd be like my dream beer league team. A 37-year-old Dale Hunter, Peter Bondra, Adam Oates, what was it? Craig Berube, the Flyers head coach, Richard Zednick, I believe, Esa Tikkanen, and my man Brendan Witt. We have the same tattoo. We like to tweet about our same black Jaguar tattoo, but that's a different story. That's neither here nor there. Brendan Witt wasn't as good as offensively as Blake or Housley, but let's get to Robbie Blake. Los Angeles King won the Norris Trophy in 1998, which Housley never won. And you look at won a cup with Colorado on a team of just pure hockey gods. I mean, Forsberg, Sakic, Ray Bourque, dude. Patrick Waugh between the pipes. Adam Foote. I mean, that team was special. That team was loaded. Tanguay, Milan Hayduk, guys like that. But looking at it from that perspective, Blake come up big, coming over the deadline from the Kings, and really played well for the Avs. But my whole thing is Blake's numbers don't even. He was a really, really good offensive defenseman, but there was so many more facets to his game. His physicality, his tenacity. The way they called him Anvil ass because he was known for throwing massive hip checks in the neutral zone. So I think when you look at the two players, if I wanted a guy to play a prominent two-way role in playoff situations, I'd want Rob Blake, give you a little bit of everything. But likewise, if I wanted a guy to quarterback power play, if I had to pick any player in the NHL, in the history of the NHL, not named Bobby Orr or Brian Leetch, I guess you got to go with Housley there. So, it's again comparing apples and oranges, but it's an interesting argument to have. Who's better? Because again, I'm going to cop out and say that they both excelled at what their respective roles were with their teams, and the games in which they played. The styles, that they brought to the rink on a night in night out basis. And also, Rob Blake's daughter doesn't follow me on Twitter, so I don't know if he has kids. He has to have kids. He's like, how old is Rob Blake? 44. So, and Phil Housley's daughter Reed follows me on Twitter, and actually, I gotta get. Speaking of that, next time I see Charlie Coyle, I gotta get him more Minnesota Wild power play shirts because I said I'd get one out there. And in fact, in the infantile stages right now, infantile word, I think so. Might be heading out. I got this huge trip planned. Probably in the planning stages, but the Patriots are playing the New England Patriots, 3-time Super Bowl champions, are playing in San Diego in December. I want to get out there and watch that, but I want to catch some hockey too. So I'm thinking going from Boston to either Seattle or Regina, Saskatchewan to catch a dub game, then going to San Diego and then coming back, and it would be awesome if I could catch the Gophers and the Wild the same weekend. That would be pretty dope, as the kids say. But again, I gotta look at the schedules. I looked at the Western League schedules, and I know that part would work out. But just a matter of the Wild and Gophers schedules. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, per usual, I cop out on having a pick. It's like two different flavors of ice cream. Two really, really good NHL defensemen. I guess you give it to Housley because he's an American. But then again, Rob Blake played in Southern California. Me, I'm partial to beaches and stuff like that. So whatever way you want it, that's the way I take it, I guess, with this argument. So that's on this episode of the Power Play with CJ on the Rob Blake, Phil Housley debate. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.